Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm, and we do that as often as we can, usually several times per week, for your listening pleasure and to bring hopefully some enlightenment to you. We've got over 1,300 of these available. We try to add several times per week. My schedule's crazy, at least for the next few weeks, has been for a while, and also trying to plan a move at some point. So we add when we can. Hopefully, there's something good there for you, and in any event, continue going forward. So. If you are looking at ways to kind of be more confident in the dating world and all of that, it's important to do things in a good way, and so just drop hints that you may be interested in them. That's one way that you can kind of open things up. Obviously, you don't want to blindside somebody with your intention, especially if you've been pining for them for a good bit of time and they have no idea. It's going to be unsettling for them. They are just getting the information. You have had the information for a while, and so giving people grace with the ability and time to process how they're feeling about things and ultimately what they want to do with the information, whether they're comfortable with the idea of a relationship or not at this point in their life. Then the other thing too is take them to a place where they're most comfortable. Look, have an exit plan if things don't go well, but also be mindful of the need to be respectful. Again, this is a person you like, and so you have to be willing to face rejection if you're going to be able to be honest about your intentions for this person. You also have to be willing to address any concerns they may have in terms of how to move forward or what difficulties they may have had in previous relationships that may make them less receptive to you. All of these are things to think about before approaching somebody, because if you're only looking to hear yes, or if you're going to fall apart if you hear something negative, then you need to be able to have support systems around yourself and a graceful way to exit the conversation um, when it becomes uncomfortable for your benefit. And so that's something to think about, especially when you don't want to negatively impact it, especially if you have to see the person again in the future, if you work with them, go to school with them, have the same social circle, something like that. Next thing to look at is respect their boundaries. And so if they're not ready to kind of be there, if they're not ready to go into a relationship, or they're not over somebody, or they are already in a relationship and you didn't know, or if you thought they were done with a relationship and they aren't, all of those are things that can come forward. And so be willing to find ways to respect whatever boundary, whatever discomfort, whatever hardship the other person has, so that you are continually, you know, being able to articulate to them what your feelings are honestly, but also being willing to be respectful of where their boundaries are, whatever they may be. The next thing is, um, kind of have a relaxed atmosphere. In other words, kind of play out role play in your head, and ask other people, friends, family members, people that may know the person but don't know your intention for them, or maybe people that know you've been crushing on them for a while. Regardless, ultimately, ask multiple inputs how to approach this. They may know your weaknesses. They may know your strengths. They may know if you're ready or not. They may know if you tend to rush into relationships and need to be pulled back a bit. All of these are things that the people in your life that care about you and know you well, are going to be able to identify. Whereas your hormones and your ideas and your desires may be taking you in a direction that it's not good to go, or you're not ready to go, or you don't have a good coping mechanism if things don't go exactly perfectly. So it's important to, you know, get input from multiple individuals so that things don't get super, super awkward. The next thing is just relax when you're telling the person. In other words, at the end of the day, it's a conversation, and conversations can get awkward, especially if you fancy somebody well. But realize, in a world full of 7 billion people, the chances of hearing no are pretty high, and the chances of hearing yes can be low at times. But you got a 50-50 shot. They're either going to say yes or no, right? So at the end of the day, have outcomes and ways you're going to cope, regardless of your situation. But just be relaxed, be you. You wouldn't want to be in a relationship where you have to change yourself for another person anyway. So the more relaxed you are, and the more organic the relationship itself is able to unfold. Hopefully, this is helpful. And I encourage you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.